So this week, since we're not in a reading book, our reading is going to be in social studies and science as we discuss some important third grade topics. I'm on page 244 in your green social studies book. I am at the lesson called Rights of Citizens. So stop the video if you need to turn here with me, get with me, and then follow along. The rights of citizens. Every citizen of the United States has certain rights or freedoms. Some of these rights are named in the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. Together, these amendments are called the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution to keep people's rights safe. The Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights lists the basic rights that belong to all citizens of the United States. These rights cannot be taken away by the government. Respecting the rights of others is an important part of being a good citizen. The Constitution is on display in Washington, D.C., and actually I was able to see it last summer, my first and only ever in my lifetime opportunity to visit Washington, D.C. The Constitution is behind glass. You can't touch it. You cannot take pictures of it with your cell phone. There are guards there. You have to wait in line to see it. And it's really awesome, cool. The writing is very faded, as the other important documents are, because they are very, very old, but you can see the originals and it kind of gives you goosebumps. It's really cool. So if you ever go to Washington, D.C., you can see some of these very historic documents. Some basic rights. Freedom of speech is one of our basic rights. It allows citizens to speak in public about their ideas and beliefs. This right protects people who say good or bad things about their government. Another right is the freedom to gather peacefully in a group. This is called freedom of assembly. People who share the same opinion can assemble or get together. Citizens can share their opinions in the media. Media includes newspapers, radio, television, and film. Freedom of the press allows people to write, read, and watch what they want. All citizens are free to practice any religion too. This is called freedom of religion. So see, these are some of the basic rights that as a citizen of the United States, you are entitled to. It is not like that everywhere in the world. Our nation is unique and different, and our early forefathers fought for us to have these rights, and these rights are written in a special document called the Bill of Rights. Citizens make choices. Citizens also have the right to vote for their leaders. Voting allows them to help make choices in their government. To vote, people must be at least 18 years old. They must also meet any other requirements their state may have. By voting, citizens help elect or choose their government's leaders. Many go to special voting places on the day of an election. An election is a time set aside for voting. Voters mark their choice on a paper ballot or on a ballot shown on a voting machine. A ballot lists all the possible choices in an election. Each citizen's vote in an election is kept secret. Only the results are announced. This way, people can vote without worrying about what other people may think of their choices. And that is a kind of a cool thing about voting. When you go into the voting booth, you make a private choice, and you don't have to tell anybody about those choices you made. You can if you want to, but you can do that privately. I vote on a computer screen, a touch screen, when I go to vote in my little town. And you can still do a paper ballot, but I'm glad we have the right to vote in this country. Now, you're going to be hearing a lot, if you tune in on the news at all, about our upcoming presidential election in the fall in November. So President Trump, it looks like, will be facing Joe Biden, who was formerly our vice president when Barack Obama was our president, and he looks to be the one that will be running as the Democratic candidate. Trump is a Republican president, and he is up for re-election because when you're elected to president, you're president for 4 years, and then you can run again for another 4 years. For a total of 8 years. And so that is what's happening, and it's going to be all over the news. Usually we kind of get sick of hearing about it. It's so much, but We're going to continue on here. Majority rule and minority rights. When more than half of the voters vote in the same way, they are in the majority. In majority rule, these people rule or get what they want. The voters who did not vote for the winner are the minority. However, the Constitution protects the rights of the people in the minority. This idea is called minority rights. It helps keep people from being mistreated. Voters do not put their names on their ballots. That is absolutely true. So the people that are reading the ballots at the voting booths do not know who voted. Summary: citizens of the United States have rights. Some of these rights are listed in the Bill of Rights. Citizens use their rights to vote to choose their government's leaders. So a little bit on rights. I will try to find some links for you to watch too on the Bill of Rights that are a little more kid-friendly. And we'll kind of just talk about some government things this week as we end our time together.